Yo, peace was good. Welcome to tonight's song, my CD collection. This is part 139. Let's get it started. So this batch of CDs is gonna be the last of the thrift store batch that I bought, over the past couple months ago. Things of that nature. So let's get it started, right? First I want to show you guys is sorry, music kind of loud. Brandy with her self-titled album, Brandy, released in 1994. This is pre-Moesha, so because Moesha didn't come out to like 96, but I guess you could say it's like the Moesha era of Brandy, that kind of thing. Known for I think it's like 4 singles of the album. I believe it's Best Friend, Baby, I Want to Be Down, and Broken Hearted. Those are the singles of the album. Yeah, this is a really, really good album. As you can hear, the song in the background is Always on My Mind. It's my favorite song of the album. Love that song. Standout tracks for me is Baby, Best Friend, I Want to Be Down. Fucking love that song. That song was all over the radio back in the day. Like 94, 95, like it was all over. I'm Yours was pretty good. Sunny Day, fucking love that song. That should have been a single. I don't know why that wasn't a single. Definitely, it definitely describes what it is. Like sunny, it's just to have that summer day type of vibe, man. You're just chilling on the block with everybody. Everybody's just chilling, no drama. Everybody's having a barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Like, open fire hydrants and shit. I'm on my New York shit. Like, can't do that no more. But as on pretty much the whole album's dope, man. All songs you hear, Always on my mind. Like I said, that's a song playing in the background. My favorite song. Give Me Yours, pretty good too. Yeah, good album, dope album. And what's cool about this album is that the production, it definitely has like a more mature sound. But without being inappropriate, if that makes sense. It has like a more mature, grown-up sound, but it's fitting for her style. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's pretty good, man. Brandy's self-titled album, released in 1994. Alright. Next album, we're gonna go to Atlanta, Georgia, or College Park. Monica with Miss Thang, released in 1995. It's so funny how that correlates, Brandy and Monica, and then years later they end up doing the song The Boy Is Mine, The Boy Is Mine, The Boy Is Mine. That's where Mobb Deep got that song, the chorus from. Dog Life Is Mine. Well, they got that from that song Boy Is Mine. So just had to throw that out there. Another dope album. I think she was like 15 on this album. Brandy was 14 going to 15. No, she was 15 years old. Yeah. There are, I believe, 4 singles of the album. Let me see the word. Okay. Don't Take It Personal. Like This and Like That. Before You Walk Out of My Life was a single. And Why I Love You So Much. Yeah, because at the time, she was under Dallas Austin. So Dallas Austin was the executive producer of this album. So yeah, another again, just like with Brandy, the production definitely has like a more mature, grown up sound to it. You know what I mean? Without being like on some teeny bopper shit. You know what I'm saying? Standout tracks for me is Don't Take It Personal. Love that song. Uses the same beat as L. Cooley's Backseat. That song was dope. Like That was Like This Like That was pretty good. Turn that down, sorry. Get Down, definitely one of my favorite songs of the album. With You was dope. Skate, Angel. Let me see what else. Tell Me If You Still Care. Before You Walk Out, that was pretty dope. Before You Walk Out My Life was dope. The whole album's dope, man. Just the remix of Don't Take It Personal was cool too. But yeah, Never Say Goodbye. This whole album is dope, man. Yeah, I think it's like the only album I own from her. Do I? No, I think I have a second album. Yeah, I have a second album from '98, I believe. That was another good album too. But this album right here, I've been needing to get this for a while. It's the same thing for the Brandy album, so glad I got my hands on that. But yeah, Monica with Miss Thang, released in 1995, dope shit. Back when R&B was good. All right, now we're still in the Georgia side of things. We're gonna go to the city of Decatur. We go with Ghetto Mafia with Straight from the Deck, Vol.1, the movie. This is like the soundtrack as they had a movie. This was released in 1999, but they also have an album with the same name, but that came out in '96. And I would love to get my hands on that, but a lot of this stuff is hard to find. It's expensive. It's out of print. But yeah, this album is pretty dope, man. It's pretty much like a compilation album of artists that was affiliated with Ghetto Mafia, but they were under Ghetto Mafia. Ghetto Mafia does some stuff too. Standout tracks for me, man, is The Ghetto by Ghetto Mafia. That was pretty cool. Fool I Gotcha by Ghetto Mafia as well. Let me see what else. Fool Them Niggas by Tricky Nicky. That was pretty dope. Let's see what else. My Baby by Khalil featuring Trigger Trail. Vu Man Southern Hemisphere. That was pretty dope. I mean, this whole joint is dope. Like the production on this shit is fire, man. I tried to find Clipse on YouTube, but there's none. I just had to play it, the old school way, and just listen to it and things like that. And this joint's a fire, man. Pretty dope. You can find it, definitely pick it up. It's not too expensive, you can find it for dirt cheap. You can find it for like $10. But like I said, I got this at a flea market, so not a flea. I'm sorry, thrift store. So yeah, Ghetto Mafia presents Straight from the Deck Vol.1, the movie, released in 1999. All right, next album, we're gonna go to Palm Beach. The Extremists with Children of the Cotton Pickers. So it doesn't have a release date. I've been trying to find a release date, but I'm gonna say this is probably like late 2000s, probably like 2007, 2008. Just based on the production style. Man, dope album, man. Production wise, it definitely is reminiscent of like, it's like a mixture of like late 90s No Limit with with Manny Fresh's production, like Beats from the Pound, Manny Fresh production. You mix that together and you pretty much get the production style of this album. I mean, this shit just goes hard. In a nutshell, it's pretty much like a political hip hop. The likes of Dead Prez, stuff like that, things of that nature. Standout tracks for me is Thug, The Hit You Gave. That was pretty dope. Magnetized was pretty good. Dirt to the Brain. Is It Justice or Just Us? That's a dope way to the way they abbreviated that shit. What's another one that was cool? State of Confusion was dope. Another Day, Another Dollar. All Rappers. The Thesis. Woman Man. The Trend. I mean, this whole album is dope, man. This was a blind buy, and I tried looking at information from them, and I couldn't find nothing. Couldn't find anything. So, if anybody knows about this group, let me know. But the Extremists, the the Children of the Cotton Pickers, released in I don't know what year it came out, but yeah, dope shit, dope Southern hip hop. You know what I mean? Straight from Palm Beach, Florida. All right, now we're gonna go to Harlem or Mount Vernon, depending on how you describe it. But we're gonna go with P.Diddy and Bad Boy presents Reinvented the Remix, which is a fucking lie, because I would give that to Pete Rock. Pete Rock was the first to do that. So, well, not the first, but he's one of the first. But he's the one that really made remixes popular, as well as Marley Marl, which doesn't get recognition. But Pete Rock's the king of the remixes. I don't care what nobody says. Yeah, Reinvented Remix. This came out in 2002. Just like the title, instead that it says Reinvented the Remix, it's pretty much songs that was popular throughout the early 2000s. I would say like 2001 to 2002, and remixes, stuff, things of that nature. I believe the singles was I Need a Girl Part 1 and 2, and Special Delivery Remix. Those are the singles of the album. Standout tracks for me is Special Delivery Remix. I remember first seeing the video for that. I fucking went crazy because when they brought Craig Mack back, I lost my shit. And because of that video, it made me want to go get Project Funk the World back in 2002 when I first seen that. And I was like, yeah, because I was long, because that album in itself, even at that time, was hard to find. But I was able to find the album. I found it at the Wiz. You know, recipes to the Wiz. The Wiz was pretty much like a kind of like a Circuit City. Um, yeah, like Circuit City Best Buy, but for the tri-state area, things of that nature. But that's the only one visit. Nobody beats the Wiz. Nah, the fucking miss that shit. But yeah, that's a whole different spill. But yeah, sound tracks like I said, especially the remix with Ghostface, Keith Murray, and Craig Mack. Fucking love that shit. Um, Let me see what else. What was that song? I just Oh, So Complete with P.Diddy and Sherry Dennis. That shit goes hard. That was pretty cool. Um, No More Drama. That with Mary J. Blige. That was pretty good. What was another one I just saw? Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. So Complete. No More Drama. You Get to Know Love. Yeah, that shit goes hard, man. That Gets to Know Love with Faith Evans, G Dep. That shit goes hard. Everything else is kind of like filler. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, the standard 2001, 2002 commercial sounding shit. You know, like I Need a Girl Part 1 and 2. Just wasn't too crazy about those songs. So, then, you know, you got, and that's the thing I don't like about, you know, like with, you know, Bad Boy, posthumous Bad Boy releases or like post 90s stuff. They have the habit, the bad habit of putting like Biggie, you know, vocals, like unreleased vocals over like updated production. It's like, yo, just leave that shit alone, man. It's like it's definitely a cash grab, you know, but you know, it's just it was okay. Yeah, it was okay. I had a couple of songs, but everything else I wasn't too crazy about. But yeah, P. Diddy and Bad Boy presents Reinvented the Remix, released in 2002. Alright, next album. We're going to the R&B side of things. We're going to go with Shai, If I Ever Fall in Love. This was released in 1992. Known for the singles If I Ever Fall in Love, Comforter, and Baby I'm Yours. Yeah, If I Ever Fall in Love, that song was all over the radio, especially like 92, 93. Yo, that was like heavy rotation. Like, same thing with Knocking the Boots by H-Town. But yeah, recipes to Dino, by the way. But Shai, yes, as it's pronounced Shai, like a shy person. That's just it's pronounced as, well, it's pronounced as that. But yeah, standout tracks for me is Comforter, If I Ever Fall in Love. They also have the acapella version too, which I think was like the more popular one too. Let me see, Sexual, Flavor, uh, Waiting for the Day. Yeah, this album was okay. It was I don't know. They had some like filler tracks. You know, it was kind of like, I don't know. It was kind of boring in a sense. It was cool, but it wasn't like like to me they were kind of like, you know, Boys to Men, you know, carbon copies of my clones, if you will. You know what I mean? I would say particularly in like the Cool Harmony High era, they were kind of carbon copies of Boys to Men of that era, in my personal opinion. But this album was okay. It was alright. Yeah. Shy, If I Ever Fall in Love, released in 1992. Alright, next album, we're going to LA. Particularly South Central LA. I'm go with my man, Ice Cube. I think this is like his 9th album. I Am the West. This was released in 2010. Yeah, this was like considered to be like his comeback album. Just based on the production and things of that nature. I know the singles of this album, there's a couple of singles he has, is I Rep That West, Drink the Kool-Aid, She Couldn't Make It on Her Own, and Two West Coast. Standout tracks for me is Life in California with J.O. Felony and Dub C. That shit goes hard. Two West Coast was dope with Dub C and Melee, Young Melee. Let me see what else. I rep that West. That shit goes hard. No Country for Young Men. Hood Robin. That was pretty good. Hood Robin, dope concept. You know, he talks about how what is it, like, you know, how like technology, you know, takes over everybody. Everybody's addicted to their phones and social media, myself included. You know, everybody that's watching this is and this YouTube is considered social media, so everybody's addicted to it, which is, you know, it's an unfortunate situation, but you know, it is what it is. um your money, your life, and nothing like LA. um Pretty decent album, you know what I mean? It's a pretty cool album. It's a good album, you know, post 2000 from Cube. I do need to get his later albums, like you know, Raw Footage and Laugh Now, Die Later. I need to get those albums. I heard like little snippets of those albums. I wasn't really too crazy about those out some of the songs, because like it had, like, you know, like that really southern style production, and that's the thing with this album too. It has some filler tracks. It has like that kind of like beats that you would hear like Young Jeezy rap over, you know, stuff like that. It's like, that's not Cube, man. Like, he needs like West Coast production. So the songs that, you know, that I mentioned, those are the songs that I felt like was pretty good, you know, that I really enjoyed. But yeah, this is Ice Cube with I Rep That West. I Am the West, released in 2010 or 2010 rather. All right, we're gonna go to Harlem. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go to Harlem. We're gonna go with Jim Jones with Capo. This is released in 2011, I believe. I think 2010 or 2011. Yeah, 2011. I'm gonna say 2011. Yeah. Singles off this album is Perfect Day and Everybody Jones. Those are singles of the album. Standout tracks for me is the intro. Let me see what else. Let me see what else was. Drops is out. Let Me Fly, Changing the Locks. It's and Salute. Those are the standout tracks for me. And this is like the Best Buy special, the exclusive. This is the Best Buy edition. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the Best Buy exclusive edition, the limited edition by Best Buy. I got some you know, like some extra tracks, like I think 5 tracks. Those songs were okay, but yeah, this album was okay. Not my favorite from Jim Jones. I prefer albums like Harlem, some Diary of a Summer, his second album from 2006. I think, no, it was like '05. His first album, On the Way to Church, El Capo, that came out like I think like 2020 and 2019, where he does all the production. Even Wasting Talent was pretty dope as well. But yeah, Jim Jones, Capo, released in 2011. I think if you guys like the MOB mixtapes that he put out in the late 2000s, I think you guys would like this album right here. Capo with Jim Jones, released in 2011. Alright, next time we're gonna go to Virginia. We're gonna go with Clipse with the last song they dropped as a group called Til The Casket Drops, released in 2009. Known for singles like kind of like A Big Deal, I'm Good, and Popular Demand with Cameron. That shit goes hard. Standout tracks for me is Freedom, Popular Demand with Cameron and Pharrell. That shit, I love the video for that. Like, they filmed that in Brownsville. I know where that is on Brownsville too. I know that part of Brownsville as well. Kind of like A Big Deal with Kanye West. Not a big fan of Kanye West, but he did his thing on that joint right there. There Was a Murder, that was pretty good. All Eyes on Me, Footsteps, that shit goes hard, and Life Changed. Yeah, those are the standout tracks for me. And you know, No Malice. You know, he ended up becoming religious and that kind of thing, so he kind of like, you know, left the hip hop shit alone. Pusha T still doing his thing, but my man with the skirt, man, what the fuck, man, what the deal, man? I don't know, that's on you, man. But yeah, Clipse Til The Casket Drops, released in 2009. All right. Next album, we can go to Brooklyn, New York. We go with the Precise MC with Precisely Done. This was released in 1991. She's an MC from Brooklyn, not so a part of Brooklyn. What's interesting about this release is that it was released under Luke Records / Atlantic Records, which is interesting because she's like the first MC out of New York to be signed under Luke Records. Uncle Luke, Two Live Crew, that kind of thing. Excuse me. The single of this album is called All Night Thang. Yeah, so that was a pretty dope joint right there. Standout tracks for me is Encore, Don't Even, All Night Thang, I Can Do It. That was pretty good. Slow Down, My Brother, Bass, and For the Brothers. This album kind of reminds me of something to the grand scheme of things of MC Lyte, Money Love, Queen Latifah, the first two albums, Nature of a Sister, Ladies First, shit like that. That album, I forgot the first album, the name of the first album, Queen Latifah's first album, I forgot the name of it, it's top of my head. But yeah, Nature of a Sister, Queen Latifah's first two albums, MC Lyte, around the Act Like You Know era, Money Love, with Down in the Middle, that era just kind of if you get that, then you pretty much get this out, the Precise MC, but she's not as good, not as lyrical. She's dope, but not as lyrical. But this was pretty much like a blind buy. I saw Luke Records, I saw 91. Sorry about that. And I was like, I had to pick it up, and I like that because it kind of has that newspaper article look to it. So I thought it was pretty cool. The Precise MC, Precisely Done, released in 1991. All right, dope shit. Next album, we go with Cameron and the UN Vital, pretty much, which stands for Us Niggas, with The Heat Vol.1, released in 2010. This is the first album they dropped as a group. Yeah, this shit got some shit right here. Standout tracks for me is Intro, Like Shit, Throw It Up, It's Your Party, Kill 'Em, Butter, Fuck the Other Side, and Horror Story. Those are the standout tracks for me. Production wise, A-Rap Music does the majority of the beats on this album, and Schizo does one beat on this album, but the rest A-Rap Music does it. So yeah, not a big fan of Vado. I think he's kind of average in my opinion, but he does his thing on this album. The production definitely served him well. Cameron is Cameron, pretty dope shit. Production wise, if you guys like Crime Pays production wise, then you'll definitely enjoy this album. You know what I mean? But yeah, Cameron, the Heat in Here, Vol.1, released in 2010. Right, next album, we're gonna go to Cali. We're gonna go to Long Beach specifically. Snoop Dogg with Documentary, released in 2011. Yeah, 2011. I showed you guys the last album, Mouse in Wonderland, which I was not a big fan of that album. The singles off this album is Wet and Boom. Those are the singles of the album. Standout tracks for me is The Way Life Used to Be. Let me see what else. My Own Way was pretty dope. Wonder What It Do. Wonder What It Do featuring Uncle Chuck. My Own Way featuring Mr. Porter of D12. He's a dope producer too. Very underrated, if you ask me. I don't need no bitch featuring Devin the Dude and Kobe Honeycutt. That was dope. Let's see what else. Boom. We Rest in Cali. What was it? We Rest in Cali featuring Goldie Loc and Bootsy Collins. That shit goes hard. The Weed Is Mine. featuring Wiz Khalifa. Not a big fan of Wiz Khalifa. I don't like it. I think he's whack, honestly. Cold Game featuring Latoya Williams. Yeah, to me this is a lot better than Malice in Wonderland. This was the album after Malice in Wonderland, because Malice in Wonderland came out in 2010. This was like a better follow up in my opinion, production wise, a lot better. There are some songs that were kind of filler tracks, like Peer Pressure, My Fucking House with was another song I didn't really care for. Platinum, Boom with T-Pain, L.A. Gang Bang Rookie. Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about those songs, you know what I mean? But everything else was pretty good. A dope follow up, compared to Malice in Wonderland. This is Documentary by Snoop Dogg, released in 2011. Alright. Next album we go to Boston. We go with a Boston State of Mind, released in 2006. Got pretty much some underground artists from some up and coming MCs. You got a very young Slane. Then you got Bumshot. You got Mike Styles. You got KT from Concrete Click. Mike Styles, Rip Shop, DL, Mike Styles, like I mentioned before. Pretty cool track. Pretty cool album. Standout tracks is Out Your Mind. Out Your Mind with Rip Shop featuring Cool Jesus, Edgy, and Tang the Juice. I believe they were on Almighty RSO, if I'm not mistaken. If I could be wrong about that. Another song, I Tried to Bang. That was with I Tried to with KT. That was pretty cool. Bang Bang with Bombshot. You Don't Want with Rip Shop, and Close Your Eyes with Slane. Those are the standout tracks. Everything else was okay. This came out 2006. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy about, but just glad I found it. So yeah, Boston State of Mind, released 2006. All right, next album. We're gonna go with Fat Joe with The Darkside, released in 2010, I think. Yeah, I think it's like 2010. Yeah, 2010, Volume 1. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Let me see what's the other songs. I believe the single is Ha Ha Slow Down. I fucking hate that song. I fucking hate that song. Hate that shit. Never liked that song at all. But the standout tracks for me is Valley of Death, I Am Crack, Rappers Are in Danger, I'm Gone, dope primo track, and At Last Supremacy. Those are the standout tracks for me. I know some people saying like, oh, he went back to his old style, from like the 90s. I didn't really get that, from this album. Yeah, he kind of went back to like the more lyrical, more street edge, but I didn't really get like Don Carter, Gina Jones was every era Fat Joe, even Represent. I didn't really get that from that. It just, just like a new improved Fat Joe, just happened to go back, to the more street elements of things. So, but yeah, Fat Joe with Darkside Volume 1, releasing on 2010. Alright, got a couple more. Alright, so we're gonna go to the Bronx. We're still on the Bronx side of things. We're gonna go with KRS-One with Spiritual Minded. This was released in 2002. Yeah, this album was a weird album to say the least, man. I would say standout tracks is Never Give Up and Come to the Temple. There's like the only good songs that I like from this album. Everything else was whack. I didn't really like it. It was just like on some gospel shit. It was just weird because he was like anti-religious, and especially in the 90s, he was like bashing religion and all that stuff. But then he kind of went on a more religious tip. But even though like he was more spiritual, but you could definitely feel like the gospel. And that's another thing too. He has like gospel songs in here. It's like, it's weird. And like the the executive producer of the album is his wife, Simone Parker. Like, what? Yeah, this is like a really weird release. I've always seen this album, but I never picked it up. I'm like, you know what? Let me pick it up. I see why they put it in a thrift store, because this album was like really weird, man. But Spiritual Minded, by KRS-One, released in '02. Yeah, not that good. Didn't really care for it. Next album is Bun B with his third solo album, Trill OG. I didn't even open it. This is released in 2010. This was the album that gave him 5 mics. I believe the singles of this album is Counting Money, Trillionaire, and Just Like That and Put It Down. Those are the singles of the album. Standout tracks for me is Church, Trillionaire, Just Like That, I Get Down for Mine, Riding Slow, Let 'Em Know, dope shit right there, dope primo track. All a Dream, Gladiator, Sex Me, Real Live and Get It In. So it's a pretty good album. I don't know if it's a 5 mic album. I would give it maybe like 4, but that's just me personally. But yeah, it's a pretty cool album, man. Production is dope. Yeah, it's gonna sound like, the South, like, kind of like stuff that Young Jeezy would rap over. You know what I mean? If you don't really like that kind of shit, then I don't think this album would be for you. But for Bun B, for his style, it's definitely fitting. So, it's a pretty good album. But yeah, Bun B with Trill OG, released in 2010. Next album, we're gonna go to NOLA, aka New Orleans. Juvenile with Beast Mode, released in 2010. Not good at all. Did not like this album at all. A lot of the beats sounded the same. I know the single off this album was Drop That Ass, which you try to capitalize off of Back That Ass Up. This is definitely not Back That Ass Up. It's not even close. Yeah, did not like this album at all. All the beats sounded the same. It just sounded like one long song. Not that good at all. Alright, last two. We're gonna go to Virginia. We're gonna go with Neptunes presents Clones, released in 2003. I mean, this song was everywhere, every fucking where. I know the singles of this album is Hot Damn, which was everywhere. Everyone knows that song. Frontin' with Jay-Z. This is like, Black Album era. I hate that album. I hate the Black Album. I hate that album to the T. Popular Thug, and Light Your Ass on Fire, Rock and Roll, and It Blows My Mind. Those are the singles of the album. Standout tracks for me is Blaze of Glory with Clipse, featuring Pharrell and Ab Liva. Damn, I haven't heard about Ab Liva in a while. Hot Damn, fucking love that song. Hot Damn, that shit goes hard. Let me see what else. It Was Nuts with Ludacris and I-20. That shit goes hard. Hot Damn, like I mentioned before. Rock and Roll with Family. Fucking love that song. That beat is just so fire. Popular Thug was pretty good with Khalees and Nas. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything was just kind of like filler, in my opinion. But yeah, Neptunes presents the Clones, released 2003. Last but not least, we're gonna go to Houston, Texas, specifically in the South Park side of things. We're gonna go with South Park Mexican with When Devil Strikes, released in 2006. Yeah, 2006. I remember, when I first moved down here in Florida, there were some Mexican homies that I know that they were big. Like, all he listened to was South Park Mexican. I just never really got into his music like that. I was like, let me pick it up. But I remember, and back in the day, I used to always see his album When Time Is Money, the one where he was like breaking up the money. I used to always say, I used to like that album cover. I thought that was pretty good. Standout tracks for me is the self-titled track When Devil Strikes, SPM Diaries, In My Hood, Carolyn's Hook, SP Soul, Bastardly, and If I Die. Those are the standout tracks. And what's interesting is that he's in prison for the whole child molestation, the child rape, child molestation allegation, things like that. I think he's doing like 45 years in prison for that. But he does the majority of the production and things of that nature. He's an acquired taste. I just have to say that. I would like to get into his earlier stuff like Hillwood and When Money Strikes and when no not when Time Is Money and albums like that. So to kind of get an appreciation of South Park Mexican. But this is When Devil Strikes, released in 2006, and it comes with the chopped and screwed version of the album, which I'm not a big fan of, but yeah, it's cool. But yeah, South Park Mexican, When Devil Strikes, released in 2006. And that's it, folks, for today. That's all I got. Definitely stay tuned for more. Next one is like more hip hop based. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Alright? Peace.